So far, we have heard from both beauties, Jessi and Kirsten, and their favorite moments from season 4 of Bardown Beauties. Next up, me, producer Fred. From getting sweaty with Sammy Walker, trolling Kirsten with some Minnesota chants, to Ryan Carter coaching girls hockey. As always, we're created by New Voice Studios, brought to you by Talk North, Grain Belt, Jim Beam, Livea, and Royal Credit Union. This is season 4, episode 188.
At Jim Beam, they know the importance of tradition, like chanting, "Let's play hockey" prior to the start of each game, or playing the state of hockey anthem after a wild win. This season, raise one to your fan family with a bourbon that invites us all to come as friends and leave as family. Jim Beam Bourbon Whiskey, the official bourbon whiskey partner of the Minnesota Wild and XL Energy Center. Drink smart. Jim Beam Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. 40% alcohol by volume. Copyright 2021. James B. Beam Distilling Company, Incorporated, Claremont, Kentucky. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
What's up? We're back. Bardown Beauties episode.
Is this on? Good. Producer Fred, take over. Welcome to my back porch. This is the point of the summer where there's not that much actually going on in the sports world. I would be remiss if right out of the gate I didn't say thank you for your service, Matt Dumba. He just signed a 1-year contract with Arizona Coyotes. He gone. Our assistant captain has fled the building, which makes sense, right? We all knew he couldn't stay here. We all knew that there was other places he had to go because Billy G ran out of money. So this is my time where I have gone through the clips on YouTube. I've gone through the clips on our podcast and tried to find the things that are my favorite clips from the past year, season 3. I'm definitely going to say season 3. I meant season 4 of Bardown Beauties. It's a little crazy. We've been doing this for season 3. Season 4, you idiot. And we got this hoodie. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see I've had this for a long time. I wear it for most of my podcasts appearances, but look at the fray. I need to call up a Soda Stick and say, "Hey man." It is fraying like crazy. I mean, I do wear it quite a bit, but I think it's time. And there's nothing else going on in the sports world. It is quiet. The World Cup is over. For Americans, at least. I mean, do I root for my Cardinals? They're in second to last place in the Central Division, not going anywhere. They were sellers at the deadline, so I got nothing to root for. I got nothing going on. It is crazy to think about season 3. I'm truly sorry. It's season 4. I'm a moron. Because when I started it, I had 2 kids, and now I have 3 kids. So I'm just on caffeine and hopes and dreams getting through the days. So with that, here are my favorite moments. To start the show, I thought it'd be fun to bring out the clip from Basil McRae himself from the North Stars, talking about his appearance on the local legendary film that Kirsten Kroll finally watched, The Mighty Ducks, alongside Mr. Mike Modano. Does he still get residuals from the film? No, he does not. Does he still believe that he was a better actor than Modano? Yeah, he does.
I didn't get to see you play as a North Star, but I did see you in that Mighty Ducks movie recently. What are your memories from making a cameo in that?
Well, I do stay in contact with a lot of, my old teammates back in Minnesota, and especially, going to the finals in 91 was, you keeping, those guys are extra special. So I do talk to Mike Modano quite a bit, and actually just talked to him recently. And, we got this ongoing feud, why I end up being, North Star 1 and he was North Star 2. So depending on who you ask, but it was a lot of fun. And I have always said, either that was one heck of a movie, because it was 30 seconds. Okay. So if that, 4 lines, but I said that was either one heck of a movie or I had a pretty crummy career, because I think I'm known more for that movie than for playing.
I think Bodo said the same thing, at least now, right? He said like we had him on a couple months ago and he said the same thing. He's like, more people come up to me knowing me from like, hey, you're from the Mighty Ducks. He's like, also a lot of other hockey related things as well. He remembered his line fairly well. Do you remember your number one line?
No, I remember them all. Hey, Gordo, Gordon Bombay, remember me?
Well,
so Mike was the most popular, so he was definitely supposed to be North Star 1, and I was supposed to be North Star 2 with the one line. But about 5 minutes into it, the director said, "Let's switch these." And I was a crummy actor, I know that, but Mike was worse, obviously. So he always claims, I don't know if he told you guys, but he always claims that it was a respect thing, that I was the older guy and more senior player, so he gave me the lines. I'm like, I don't remember it that way.
Sure. Well, we'll go with that. And to not be biased, which of the 3 Mighty Ducks in the trilogy is your favorite?
One that sent me the checks. I mean, the first one.
Are you still getting residuals? Like I know Mike said he got them for a while though, like quite a bit after. He's like, I'd get like $5 in the mail from like Disney and stuff like that.
Yeah, my kids got a big kick out of it because, oh yeah, Dad got a check for $4.37. I said, well, yeah, but it had federal withholding, California withholding, Actors Guilds withholding, all those withholdings.
Yeah.
But, no, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. So it's it just happened here. Well, I guess it'd be 5 years ago. One of our interns here came up and says, "Oh, Mr. McCray, congratulations on the anniversary." And I'm sitting there going, "This is my anniversary." Like, it's a lot more than 25 years. And I go, "It's not my anniversary. You got me mixed up." He goes, No, the Mighty Ducks, 25 years. And I went, "Oh, okay, thank you."
Were your kids more impressed with that than your hockey career as well?
Well, when my daughter, Alex, who was born in 1988, and so when the movie came out, I was actually in Tampa at the time because the expansion draft, I wasn't protected, and Tampa picked me up. And so they had contacted me and said, basically, we're down to 280 minutes of cutting, and you've made the cut so far. So when we went to the movie, when it first came out, we, like my wife and I, we weren't really sure if I made the final cut, that scene made it or not. And it's right at the very end of the movie, and we took our daughter, who was 4 years old at the end, and well, I guess she'd be about 4.5 then, but we didn't tell her anything. And all of a sudden, right at the end of the movie, the scene was shown, and she got so excited that I always, that's one of my biggest thrills, is that's Daddy, and like this. And my wife was like, "Oh, thank God you made it." It wasn't the first time I've been cut. I've been cut quite a bit, so I wasn't gonna stress too much if we didn't make it. But yeah, no, it was. I think it's been a lot of fun for my kids, for sure.
It's a hard man to track down because he's so busy with the Minnesota Wild. Ryan Carter joined us from the concourse of an airport because his flight was delayed, and that's the only way we could have tracked him down. He has been everywhere in the hockey world, including winning a Stanley Cup, not in Minnesota, but he was able to tell us what it's like to coach his daughter's girls hockey team.
You had mentioned your daughters are playing. How's the girls program doing for White Bear? Are they kind of up and down? I know they've also had some really strong players come in and out through that program. What's their outlook so far this season?
Well, I think what's encouraging is that the numbers for the girls are going up. There was a lull there, 12s, 15s, U12, U15, where the numbers weren't as strong, but at the U10, we're starting to see more numbers. U8, I've got 2 girls in it, and that's encouraging too, that hockey's kind of making a revival on the girls' side. I love it. It's a lot of fun. The girls are enjoyable to coach. They're happy. My daughter happens to be a stinker, and she challenges her dad quite a bit. But they're good. They're fun. They listen. They compete. And one thing I'm learning too is, as much as it's about hockey, those girls care about each other and being in the locker room and just having fun. And for me, it probably took 30 years to understand the value in that, maybe even 40. But it's fun to be a part of. It's fun to watch, and I enjoy coaching whenever I can.
Is it true? And I did a story on this, and I've spoken to a couple coaches, men and women, who coach women's and girls at different levels.
girls listen so literally as opposed to boys, right? Like if you tell the girls to go do XYZ, they do it to a T, whereas the boys kind of have a different approach. Is that pretty accurate from your perspective?
They do listen. They listen intently, but they also can get squirrely too, and you got to rein them in a little bit. But I try to keep it light. Here's an example. The girls all have I don't know what you call them now, fanny packs, crossbody bags, belt
Oh
bags.
yeah, I'm not young enough and cool enough to wear those, but I've seen them. I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
They're very in
called,
right now.
yeah, they're called like belt bags, I think. And so the girls all have belt bags, and they're Lululemon belt bags. So whenever they get together as a team, each one has their bag, and it's so hilarious to me. So the last pregame speech I gave, I walk in and I've got a belt bag. It's actually one of my daughter's fanny packs. It's like a light blue and gold kind of. I've got it hidden under my jacket, so I go for the dry erase board, and I purposely left the marker away. So I unzip my jacket, get the crossbody bag out, unzip it, get the expo marker, and the girls go bananas, and they're just like, "Where, yeah!" And that's how you motivate the girls. That was all I needed for the pregame speech, right? Was to just pump up the energy a little bit, try to relate with them, and then they go out and they play their little butts off for you. So. The girls are a little different, but they're just so much fun.
Would you recommend to Dean to try the same sort of effect sometime during a game, maybe?
Yeah. Hey, Dean, why don't you pull that marker out of your fanny pack and let's see how it works.
I could just see Met with the
down a goal, 6-on-5, drawing up the face-off play. Just turn that fanny pack around, grab the dry erase marker, and let's go.
One of my favorite pastimes is trolling Kirsten. It's just fun. But fortunately, she takes it all in stride, and she's a good sport about it. But a great moment is as the college hockey playoffs were heating up, Jessi and Judd Zolgad decided to troll Kirsten a little bit with a Minnesota chant. And then we get into a little bit of Jessi's college hockey fandom and why she went to Iowa State.
You guys will be listening to this on a Monday once Minnesota wins the national game, so it probably doesn't matter to any of you. But Kirsten, can we all just join me in one good MINNESOTA? Minnesota. Hey, Gophers.
I heard that enough in the third period of yesterday's game. I'm good.
What's the raw about?
They do it at that Mariucci. For every game that I've ever gone to. So I started, again, background for all of you that didn't catch our past couple weeks of Gopher. I was a college hockey fan far and away, way more than NHL for the longest time. And that's because I had a part of my life where there was no NHL team. So as I was getting into hockey, the Gophers were everything in town, right? So I loved college hockey. I started going to games when I was in high school, and I was just like, this atmosphere is everything. Like, it was so great. So I learned all the cheers, and I don't know the backstory. I just know it's after every time you do that rouser, it's rah, and everybody does it, and I enjoy it.
I'm just confused by it, but it's fine. I'm just confused by it. But there's a lot in life that confuses me.
Yeah. Jessi, you also have St. Cloud people coming after you now in my mentions.
Yeah, I see
that.
Didn't
she go to Iowa State? She doesn't even go there. So that is just the next era in your hockey evolution. So congratulations.
I mean, it's true. I went to Iowa State. We didn't have a Division I program. They're Big 10, Big 12. I'm allowed what I'm allowed to like. It's not like they'll ever compete against the Gophers. Gophers are my college hockey team. All right.
Actually, Kirsten's got a really good point.
No, she doesn't.
Why did you go to Iowa State?
You know what? Here's the
literally. My wife went there. My niece went there. So I'm fine with it. But why would a hockey girl like you are through and through? Why are you going to Ames, Iowa?
You're going to love this story because it's a great question. So I didn't get into the U. That's why I was waitlisted forever and then just denied. Right. And I was like, well, that's crap. Whatever. Fine. I don't want to go here. Literally contemplated going to, you guys will never believe it, North Dakota. I honest to God was like, maybe I go to North Dakota because I was a hockey person, right? And I was going to be a hockey writer and this is what I wanted. And then I was like, I can't. And I'm like, you know what? If I can't go where there's a really good hockey pro, if I couldn't get into the U, I definitely wasn't getting into Madison. So that was also out of the question. And I was like, well, at least Iowa State has a great football program, basketball. Like I could cover all of these bigger sports too. Cause at that time, again, Gopher football wasn't really anything. Gopher basketball was kind of meh. So I was able to go down and experience football and basketball at a different level, and wrestling too. That was actually kind of fun. And then truth be told, so they do have a college hockey program down there. They compete in the ACHA, which is where Penn State came from, which is where Arizona State came from. And they compete at a pretty high level. So the nice thing is I walked in to Iowa State and became their head of broadcasting, head of media relations, communications. I did play-by-play, had a TV show, basically ran that thing.
Nice.
And it was fun. Yeah. So it gave me a lot of good experience there. That was no competition.
I'm sorry, Jessi. I kind of blacked out after you said you almost went to North Dakota. I threw up in my mouth a little bit.
I know, right? Like, I was like, am I really considering this? I just can't believe I would ever think of that. But I'm like, but I love Division I hockey, and the Gophers have told me no. And so that's just what we did.
What's going on, everybody? Jessi Pierce here for Livea Weight Control Centers. We are still celebrating summer. It is the best time of year here in Minnesota. We want to get you healthier and more active. Celebrate with Livea right now and join to get 3 months absolutely free. Livea's doctor recommend program has worked for me. You can lose up to 10 pounds in just your first 2 weeks. I'm down over 20, still continuing this weight loss journey. Couldn't do it without Livea. Find out today why it's been voted Minnesota's best weight loss program. Call 855-GO-LIVEA or visit livea.com. That's livea.com. Let them know Jessi Pierce, the Bardown Beauties, sent ya.
The other person that we have to give a shout out for being a good sport coming on the pod this year is Sammy Walker, the Minnesota Wild prospect. He has kind of a little secret that he apparently tried to keep under wraps, but admitted on a different podcast, and it's now blown up a little bit. You know, his hands get a little sweaty, and his feet get a little sweaty. That's what it is. You playing hockey, you get hot, but it's apparently actually a thing.
And your play has been giving Wild fans a lot to be excited about. So that probably leads in to the chatter Jessi was talking about. But most recently, you also were named to the AHL All-Star game. What was that experience like?
Yeah, it was incredible. It was so fun, just like meeting all the guys from throughout the league, especially being able to go to Laval and just experience all that. It was incredible. It was a lot of fun.
Were your hands incredibly sweaty? I hear that that's also a tick of yours is when you get nervous. Talk about that. Regal us all with that story.
Yeah, I think I'm regretting saying anything about that. But yeah, no, my hands get really sweaty for some reason. And then like, I don't know, guys are like wanting to like you shake guys' hands and like, when you meet them, and then your hands are all sweaty, and you kind of have to like wipe it off before you shake their hands. But no, my feet I think get more sweaty actually. But yeah, no, it's very unfortunate.
Your poor mom. I feel more sorry for your mom almost than when you were growing up, having to deal with all the extra sweatiness and the gloves and the skates and the socks, I imagine.
Oh, I couldn't. Yeah, because like you get kind of used to it. Like, cause you're putting it on every day. But yeah, no, she for sure never got used to it. Definitely stunk up the house. And when you're traveling in the hotel room, you're airing your gear out. Oh, I couldn't even imagine.
Did you have to give the equipment guys in Iowa or even at the U or anywhere an extra heads up? Like, hey, take extra care of these. There might be a little extra moisture.
No, like my gloves, I wash a lot. And they say my gear actually isn't too bad. So there are guys that are worse than me. But yeah, I try to keep them clean.
Sammy's going to regret coming on the podcast. I just feel like he's being put through the ringer right now.
Yeah.
You know what? We'll just call this Media 101, Sammy. We're just helping you along. You're doing fantastic.
Hey, you guys make it seem like my hands are dripping with sweat. Like they're not that bad.
You know, I'm going to say that's all Jessi right there. It's not me. It's not me. It's all Jessi.
Okay, I'll admit I'm a little immature when it comes to my humor at times. Don't tell anyone that I'm in my mid to late 30s, but you know, it happens. One of my favorite clips of the season is when I introduced Jessi and Kirsten to my mouth trumpet. I'm trying not to make that sound weird. I I forget that people don't usually make noises like this casually, but I mean, here's a preview. I don't know why I do it. I just find it fun, and I surprised him with it.
And right now, I think all the faith is loaded up on the bus, and you know what? I'm ready to take that bus. The only stops that bus makes is on shooters and pucks. So get on board. That was not as
all
good as
aboard.
it was in my head.
Choo choo. That's a train, but
I always want to say choo choo because they say all aboard on trains as well. So that makes sense.
I can't like sit there and go honk honk. That sounds like a goose.
That was really good.
I
thought that was a soundboard.
No, I know. I'm really good at like the mouth trumpet stuff.
Oh.
I like toots. Like that stuff.
Oh.
I know. It's a secret talent.
Oh.
Okay.
Stop the pod.
I felt like he was going to say something important because he unmuted himself and then he's just making trumpet horn
Fart
noises.
noises with his mouth. Come here, Fred's Fart Noises live, however, this Thursday at Kelly's Tap House in Red Wing. We'll make sure that he gives you his exclusive toot toots, whatever that might look like.
So if anyone has listened to this podcast with any regularity, you probably know my role when I actually can make the records is to stir the pot. I try to find any and all ways to get the girls either frustrated at me, angry with me, try to make them debate me in some form or manner. One of my favorite debates that happened this year was unfortunately inevitable of Matt Dumba leaves the alternate Captain A on the table for someone else to grab. So, who takes the A?
Yeah. Who wears the A on their sweater then if you trade Dumba? Who is next man up?
Probably Jewel Eriksson-Ek.
Jewel.
Right?
Love that guy.
I feel like he's the one that usually gets it whenever somebody's down and out. Like if Felino's out, I feel like Jewel's worn it. Yeah. Or do you go Broads?
We love Broads. Jimmy, we love him.
We love Jimmy. I feel like you could go with either one of those two because they've been there long enough and they have kind of some respect. Although both of them are so quiet.
But so
you can't have
going off
Spurgeon
that, the first name that came to my head, and I know he's not been up there as much and established as the other two, Ryan Hartman. He was the one that came to my head immediately.
Wait, why aren't we considering Kirill?
Because he doesn't speak English.
So? He does speak English. He just doesn't like to do it around you.
God damn Kirill.
I mean, come on. Every other like main scorer on their big team, the big talent, they all have the C on their chest. Why not Kirill get at least an A?
He's not ready for that.
He just doesn't see captain material to me.
You can't tell me Connor. I think David was ready for the C when he got it.
He was.
I
don't know.
Just saying.
You're right. I mean, he did cross my mind, like Kirill, and because people would be thrilled. They would.
That was
I gotta put a sound
lame.
effect in for that one. Wah, wah.
They would be, but I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. It's actually something I never even considered. You do move down, but you do need to add another alternate, and who that might be. That would be interesting. I like that. I like that discussion, Kirsten.
And with that, I am recording a new outro at 12:07 at night because I kept saying season 3. That's the end of Best of Producer Fred season 4. Coming around the corner is season 5. We are working on some great guest lineups. Jessi every single year says she's going to get Wayne Gretzky. We're working on it. Come on, NHL Network or TNT, whoever has the best contacts with him. Let's do it. With that, sayonara. I'd like to go to bed. If you have any Starbucks gift cards, I'll take it. I need some coffee. Adios.